Hey, I'm Jessica. If you love cars as much as I do, you're in the right place. From drifting car days to uncovering the world's most iconic rides, gear up and subscribe to Race with Jessica for non-stop car fun.
Some muscle cars are so rare that most people will never see one in real life. We're talking single-digit production numbers, cars that barely made it off the assembly line. Today, we're counting down 8 of the rarest muscle cars ever built. Let's get started. Number 8. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. The 1969 Camaro ZL1 stands as one of the most extreme factory drag cars ever sold. General Motors prohibited engines larger than 400 cubic inches in mid-size cars, but dealer Fred Gibb found a loophole. He used the Central Office Production Order program to order 50 Camaros equipped with the experimental ZL1 427 cubic inch V8. The all-aluminum ZL1 engine was originally developed for Can-Am racing. The aluminum construction dropped roughly 100 pounds off the front end, making the car lethal on the drag strip. Chevrolet rated the ZL1 at 430 horsepower, but dyno testing revealed closer to 550 horsepower. The engine featured aluminum heads, forged internals, and an 850 CFM Holley carburetor. The catch? The ZL1 option added $4,160 to the base price, effectively doubling the cost. Gibb sent 37 unsold units back to Chevrolet. Total production stopped at just 69 cars. Most went straight to drag strips where they dominated NHRA Superstock competition. Many were modified or destroyed, making original examples exceptionally rare. When a pristine ZL1 hits the auction block, prices regularly exceed $1 million. One sold for $1,094,500 at Barrett-Jackson. Number 7. 1970 Dodge Coronet R T Hemi Convertible. The 1970 Dodge Coronet R T represented the upscale performance option in Dodge's intermediate lineup. While the Super B focused on stripped-down muscle, the R-T offered comfort alongside serious power. The standard 440 Magnum produced 375 horsepower and satisfied most buyers. But Dodge offered the optional 426 Hemi for those demanding absolute dominance. The 1970 model year proved brutal for R-T sales. Tightening emissions regulations, rising insurance costs, and changing preferences contributed to declining interest. When production ended, the results were shocking. Dodge built just 14 Coronet R-T models equipped with the 426 Hemi. Of those 14, only 2 were convertibles. That microscopic production figure makes the 1970 Coronet RT Hemi convertible one of the absolute rarest muscle cars ever produced. The cars packed 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. Both came loaded with power steering, power brakes, and the A33 track pack with a Dana 60 rear axle. Neither surfaces at public auctions regularly. Private sales remain the only realistic way to acquire one. Estimated values exceed $300,000, though experts believe the right buyer could push that significantly higher. Number 6. 1969 Pontiac Trans Am Convertible. The first-generation Trans Am debuted midway through 1969. Every car came in cameo white paint with Tyrol blue stripes. Buyers couldn't choose alternative colors, which limited appeal. Pontiac built just 697 Trans Ams for the model year. Of those, 689 were hardtops. That leaves exactly 8 convertibles. The convertibles came with the Ram Air 3 400 cubic inch V8, producing a factory-rated 335 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. The true output was significantly higher. Of the 8 convertibles, 4 had 4-speed manuals and 4 had automatics. The Trans Am package included heavy-duty suspension, quick ratio steering, and front disc brakes. The suspension transformed the Firebird platform into a legitimate handler. All 8 convertibles still exist today, but they rarely change hands. When one comes up for sale, prices approach $2 million, making it one of the most valuable Pontiacs ever built. Number 5. 1970 Dodge Super B Hemi. The The 1970 Dodge Super Bee was Dodge's answer to Plymouth's wildly successful Roadrunner, offering serious performance without the premium price tag. Most buyers stuck with the base 383 Magnum V8, which delivered plenty of power for street battles, but a select few wanted the absolute best. The 1970 model year brought controversial styling changes. Dodge called the twin-loop front bumper Bumblebee Wings. Critics either loved the aggressive new face or hated it. Sales dropped from over 27,000 units in 1969 to just 15,506 cars. The 426 cubic inch Hemi carried a steep price premium of $848 in 1970 dollars. Combined with skyrocketing insurance rates for high-performance cars, most buyers stayed away. When production ended, just 36 Super Bees left the factory with the legendary Hemi V8. Of those, only 32 were pillarless hardtops. The 426 Hemi delivered a factory-rated 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. Buyers could pair it with either a 4-speed manual featuring the iconic Hurst pistol grip shifter or a Torque Flight automatic. These cars could hit 60 miles per hour in just over 5 seconds. Today, finding a 1970 Hemi Super Bee is exceptionally difficult. Expect to pay close to $200,000 for one in excellent condition. Number 4, 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88. The 1967 Corvette L88 was built as a barely disguised race car for SCCA production class competition. Engineer Zora Arkus-Duntov developed the L88 package specifically for serious racers who wanted maximum factory performance. The L88's 427 cubic inch V8 featured aluminum heads, forged internals, and a solid lifter camshaft. Chevrolet rated it at 430 horsepower, but true output exceeded 500 horsepower. Compression sat at 12, 5-to-1. Requiring 103-octane racing fuel. The heater and radio were deleted as standard. A bright yellow warning label stated anything less than racing fuel would damage the engine. The L88 package included heavy-duty everything. The M22 Rock Crusher, 4-speed manual, heavy-duty clutch, special suspension, upgraded brakes, and an aluminum radiator came standard. Only 20 L88 Corvettes were built for 1967, making them the rarest of all L88 variants. These cars immediately went racing at Le Mans, Sebring, and SCCA events. Many were modified or had engines replaced. Finding a numbers-matching 1967 L88 is extraordinarily rare. A Sunfire Yellow Coupe sold for $2,695,000 at Meckham Auctions. Another reportedly changed hands for $3,850,000. Number 3. 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible. The 1971 Hemi Cuda Convertible represents the absolute pinnacle of the muscle car era. When collectors discuss the holy grail of performance cars, this is the machine they're talking about. Plymouth introduced the redesigned Barracuda on the E-body platform for 1970. Sales started strong but collapsed quickly. Total Barracuda production dropped from 55,499 units in 1970 to just 18,690 in 1971. The 426 Hemi represented the ultimate engine choice, rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. But the engine's $884 price premium, combined with devastating insurance rates, kept most buyers away. Plymouth built just 292 drop-top Cudas for 1971 across all engines. When you narrow the focus to Hemi-powered convertibles, Plymouth built exactly 12. 7 were intended for the domestic market, while 5 were exported. Of the 7 U.S. cars, only 3 had 4-speed manuals. These cars came loaded with options: power steering, power brakes, the shaker hood scoop, rally wheels, bucket seats, and center consoles were common features. The 1971 model year marked the end for both the Hemi engine and the Cuda convertible. Plymouth discontinued both after 1971. When a 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible crosses the auction block, the results are staggering. One sold for $3.5 million in 2015. Another reached a high bid of $4.8 million in 2021, but failed to meet reserve. Current estimates place values between $3 million and $6.5 million. Number 2, 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge Convertible. The Judge package represented Pontiac's boldest statement in the muscle car wars. Introduced for 1969, the Judge combined outrageous graphics, a rear wing, and serious performance. By 1971, the party was ending. Insurance companies crushed buyers with astronomical premiums. Emissions regulations were tightening. Fuel economy concerns were growing. Pontiac scaled back Judge production significantly for 1971. The wild graphics remained, but buyer interest had evaporated. The base 455 cubic inch V8 produced 325 horsepower. The convertible body style became extraordinarily rare. Most buyers who still wanted a Judge opted for the hardtop coupe. Pontiac built just 17 Judge convertibles for the entire 1971 model year. The cars came with heavy-duty suspension, front disc brakes, and the Judge's signature styling. Bold stripes, fender decals, the rear spoiler, and distinctive wheels announced the car's presence. Finding one of the 17 convertibles requires patience and deep pockets. When one surfaces at auction, prices range from $100,000 to $150,000. Pontiac discontinued the Judge after 1971. Number 1, 1969 Pontiac Trans Am Ram Air V. This car stands alone as the single rarest muscle car ever produced. It's one of one. The Ram Air V program represented Pontiac's most ambitious performance project of the late 1960s. Engineers designed multiple variants for different racing applications. A 303 cubic inch version would compete in SCCA Trans Am racing. A 366 cubic inch variant was planned for NASCAR. The 400 cubic inch version would power street cars. A 428 cubic inch monster was destined for drag racing. But the program never reached production. Manufacturing difficulties with connecting rods, changing racing regulations, and rising insurance costs killed the Ram Air V before it saw daylight. Pontiac built just one 1969 Trans Am equipped with the experimental Ram Air V engine. The car served as an engineering test vehicle, allowing Pontiac to evaluate the engine in a real-world chassis. This sole example features unique details. The engine block carries multiple engineering codes, including a 1 designation indicating it was the first Ram Air V block produced. The cylinder heads differ from standard 400 engines. The passenger side head lacks any casting codes, while the driver's side features the correct number 44 head code. The car sports unique exhaust manifolds, a different distributor, and a Chevrolet carburetor instead of the typical Holley setup. Original factory heat shields remain on the headers, suggesting Pontiac intended to evaluate production viability. The Trans Am carries all standard first-generation features. Cameo white paint with Tyrol blue stripes, the Ram Air hood, rear spoiler, and Rally 2 wheels make it visually identical to the 697 production Trans Ams. Determining a value for this one of one prototype is impossible. The car remains in private hands, preserved as an irreplaceable piece of automotive history. If it ever came to market, the price would exceed any muscle car ever sold. So tell me which of these rare muscle cars stood out the most in the comments. And if these machines surprised you, you should also watch our video on why modern cars are looking retro again and how this boxy comeback is reshaping today's designs. It adds a whole new layer to the story behind these classics and why their influence is stronger than ever. See you in the next one!